Hi guys, it's Sherry. So today we are going to be making these fun earrings, and I just think they came out adorable. You have these beautiful sunflowers here, and I went with the side view, and these adorable little birds on top, and I have some wooden beads that are colored blue, so it kind of looks like a little turquoise. And this video is going to show you step by step how to do this, so let's get started on that. Alright guys, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get your yellow clay, and I rolled mine out to the second thickest setting, and I'm actually going to use a stamp here, and this has lots of different flowers, so I kind of want to get the same flower for both earrings. So I got to just pick out which one I like best. And I'm thinking this one would be really nice, or this one. So let's start out with this one and see how that works. So I'm going to just pick out my area. I'm going to press it down. I want a nice deep indentation, so I'm pressing pretty firm. And I like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same exact one on this side. All right. Then I got a small oval cutter, and I want to see, and I feel like that is not going to be big enough, so let's try this one. Oh, it might work. All right, let's try this one because I want to try to get as many petals as I can. So let's see. That one might be a little big. All right, let me use this because I could cut around that. All right. Yes. All right, so now I'm going to take my clay and I'm going to roll it out on my third thickest setting. Okay. So I want to do something a little bit different than I normally do, just because this isn't working out the way I wanted to. Oh, and this is actually a yellow Primo Sculpey clay. It's called Sunshine, just in case you wanted to know that. So I'm actually going to put this down on here. Maybe I could get some of the texture on there. And I'm going to recut these. And that didn't work as well as I was hoping, but that's all right. And I'm going to get my blade out, and I'm just going to kind of go around and cut out some of these, cut around the petals. Okay. All right, I'm going to try to smooth out these edges. Okay, I like the way that looks. Let's do the same thing. Let's get rid of some of this. Okay. Alrighty. And our earrings, I'm actually, instead of going down this way, I'm actually going to put them sideways because I think it'll look much cuter. Make sure my sides are nice and smooth. Okay. Then I'm actually going to add 2 different colors of mica powder. So I got like a golden mica powder and a bronze. So get a small little paintbrush. So once you have your paintbrush, just get your mica powder. You don't need a lot. And I'm just going to kind of dab it a little bit. Okay. I kind of go over this area a little bit more. Get a little bit of dark up here. Little lines. I want to do the sides here. I'm going to put a little bit more dark up here as well. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to stop there with those. And then I'm going to get my little hole puncher. And I'm going to use that size one. And I'm just going to figure out exactly where I want my hole. So I kind of want to make sure that these are going to be fairly even when they're hanging. I know they're like different sizes a little bit, they're a little off. So I want to just make sure that we have a general idea how close they're going to be. And I'm going to go about right here in the middle. Make sure you're not going too close to the edge because you don't want it to break. What about the middle? Yeah. Okay. It's about the same size. Okay. I'm going to do the backs quick, and I'm going to do those in the dark bronze. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with those. Now I'm going to put that all off to the side. I'm actually going to put them on my sponge for right now because I want to clean that up. So I actually got this burnt umber Primo clay, and I rolled it out just to kind of condition it, but I'm going to just kind of mush my clay together, and then I'm going to make a bird shape. And we want to make sure it's not too big, so we want to kind of eye it up as we're going along. So I'm just going to kind of make it into like a little oval initially. We want to flatten it out a bit because we don't want it too long. And then we want to go up a bit. And I'm feeling this is going to be too big, but I could be wrong. And as we go up, we're just kind of making a little bird shape here. So it started out with the oval, and then you're just moving your hand and making the clay go into the shape that you want it to go into. Okay, so let's see how big this would be. I'm actually going to go a little bit smaller. So I'm going to take part of that clay off, and I'm going to start over here. So now that I know what size, I'm going to get another ball and make sure that they're both the same. So this way, after I make the bird, I'm not guessing all over again. So I just want to kind of get my balls of clay around the same size. So that looks pretty similar. Maybe this one a little less. Okay, so then once again, roll it into an oval, and then just start pinching the ends, and then we're going to flatten it a bit as we're doing this. So here will be the head with the beak, and that's going to be the tail. So let's see. Yeah, I like that size much better. All right, so put that off to the side and do the same thing. And pinch it. Flatten it. I feel like this one's skinnier. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit more clay because that one feels skinnier to me. And I'm just going to kind of lay them on top of each other to make sure that they are the same size and shape. And that one. Okay. That one's a little bit longer. Okay, I like that. So one will go this direction, another will go in the other direction. Okay, so now my next step is going to, I'm going to take one of these. I don't know what you really call these, but I want to actually put a hole right through this to be able to hang it onto here. Oops, I got them upside down. That's throwing me off. Okay. So go right in the middle, and I'm just going to slowly push and twist as I'm doing it. We want to kind of make sure we're going right in the middle. There we go, because we could readjust these once we have the holes in. Okay, and we're just going to kind of go like that. And now reform your little bird. All right, so I'm actually going to redo that one bird because I think these will work out better than having that big hole in there. So let me redo this. That one facing that way. And now we're going to take this and just poke it right through the middle. That's much better and easier, not deforming anything. And we can bake this right in there. Okay, so do that. And we'll, oops, come on, honey. There we go. Get right in the middle. Can you see that? Make sure you're pushing through the middle. It's not coming out the side. Okay, now I just want to kind of decorate the bird a little bit. One of these. And oops, and I'm also going to get, I want to make a little swirl on the wing. So I'm actually going to take one of these and I'm going to bend this and kind of make it into a swirl. This way, I can take, hold on, let me bend this that way. There we go. So now I made almost like a little stencil mark. And I could push this right into my clay, and it made a little mark. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Push that in. And then I'm going to take this little edge here and, oops, let me pick this up. I'm just going to make little lines for feathers. Here we go. And then take your tiniest little dot tool and just kind of mark it up a bit right around that little circle mark that we just made. And I also want to put a little eye there. And there, I hope you can see that well. So there are our little birds. I mean, you could even put little dots here if you want to add a little bit more. See? Okay. So now I'm going to take my flowers, mark up my back a little bit, give it a little bit texture. And I'm not pressing hard because I don't want to destroy my imprint of the flower. I just want to give it a little texture on the back. There we go. Okay. And now I'm also going to have a little bead in between like the sunflower and the bird. But I want to kind of give myself a little wood look to go in between the bird and the bead. So I'm just gonna kind of make this just a weird shape. It doesn't have to be anything perfect. You can make these different shapes too. They don't have to be exact. I just want to kind of keep them the same size about. There we go. And only the side is going to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 more of these. I'm going to poke this through because this will go right in the middle. Do the same thing on this. Right in the middle, go straight down. And then I'm going to take my edging tool again, and I'm just going to make little marks on it. Just kind of give it a little texture look. Okay, so that one could go there. Okay, and that one there. And I'm actually going to take a tiny bit of my gold, and I'm just going to slightly go over some of it. And I don't want a lot because I really want that brown to pop through, but I want just a tiny bit of color. Come on. Do the same on the back. Okay, leave that there. Okay. Now I'm going to place this in my toaster oven for a half hour to 45 minutes. I have Primo, so it's at 275. Follow whatever directions are on your clay. And then when they are completely baked and cooled off, we'll come back here and we're going to finish it up because I'm going to highlight certain areas most likely, and then we'll assemble it. All right, guys, so now my pieces are out of the oven. They're completely baked and cooled off, and I pulled out some wooden beads, and I also pulled out some of this pearl deep brown mica paint. Okay, so as this baked, it did not come out as dark as I wanted it to, so I'm going to put a little paint over it and then hopefully get the desired look that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a paintbrush. I'm going to get a pretty thin one because I just want these little lines to be filled in with the paint. So I'm going to get an old tile. I'm just going to kind of put a little paint on there. Let me turn this other light on. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of fill in these areas. And I'm going to just take my tissue, and I don't want to do the whole thing, just want to kind of highlight certain areas. I had somebody message me on my channel and ask me if you could paint over mica powder. And yes, you can. The only thing you have to do is make sure that you seal anything that you do mica powder with. You want to always make sure you seal it, because mica powder, no matter how much you bake it, it still comes off on your fingers. So I'm just getting my little lines here, and then I'm brushing them clean or wiping it clean. And I just want to kind of get a tiny bit of these little dots in here. Not too many, just a little bit. Just to kind of make it pop a little. Okay. I'm going to do the next one. Now we'll put these off to the side for a minute. And now with the birds, we're going to pull this out. We're going to take our little tool and we're just going to carefully make sure that our hole is wide enough for our wire. Do this careful so you don't break it. Normally I would just use these, but because I want to add beads, I'm actually going to make my own using wire. You see what I mean with the mica powder? It comes off on your skin even after it's baked. So you always want to make sure you seal it afterwards. Alrighty. Okay, now I got all kinds of paint underneath my fingernail. Alright, so now our next step is to first decide how we want to put our earrings. So I know I want these underneath my birds, but my question is, do I want, let's put that way. Do I want to do the blue beads only? Which I really like the blue beads because it kind of makes it pop a little bit. Or do I want to do the wooden beads? And I think I'm going to go with the blue because I think it'll look nice and make it pop a little bit. So, do I want to do a blue bead here first? Then this one. Then my bird. Then on top, oops, then on top of my bird. Or do I want to do it that way? I actually think I like it on top of the bird. Maybe I could do a tinier bead underneath the bird. Let's put it together and see what we think if we need another bead. All right. So I have a 1 millimeter size wire. So I'm going to take my wire, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually put my jump ring on. Jeez, dropping everything today. And open that up. Okay. Then we are going to close this. Okay. There we go. Get our second jump ring. Okay. Now, why I am going to do this, I'm going to actually do this section first with the glaze. And while that dries, then we're going to put together the rest of the pieces. Oops, that was way too much. Let's get some of that off. Way too much. Okay. And make sure I get all my sides. We'll do the back last after everything dries. All right, so let that completely seal. And let's work on our birds. Okay. Get the beads out of the way. Whoops. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take this and I'm going to make just a tiny loop. And that is going to hold my beads completely in place. I'm just going to kind of make it straight from there. So it's going to end up looking like that. Let's see. Okay. And then we'll put one bead on. We'll put our next bead on, push that down, put our bird on, there we go, pull that through, straighten your wire out. This wire is super flexible. It's a little soft to my liking, but that's what I got here. So this is what I'm going to use. There we go. All right, so our bird is on. Then we're going to do one more bead. There we go. And I like the way that looks. So let's just, so it's going to go on just like that. And that looks pretty cool. So now I'm going to cut this again. And now I want to turn this over, kind of make it slant it, see? And then I'm going to I got too much there, so I want to take some of this off. So let me get let me straighten it out one more time. I'm going to cut some of this off. And we will bend it. And there we go. That's the proper way of doing it. Okay. So that will go on the top. So let's do the next one. Let me make sure that's, there we go. Well, first I'm actually going to take my glaze, and while I am waiting, I'm just going to glaze this real quick. So this way, while we work on the other one, we have this one. It's like red paint on it or something. There we go. That's much better. Let's seal that completely. Make sure you get all the edges completely. You don't want no mica powder coming off later on. Okay. Set that down, let that dry. And let's start on the next one. So once again, let me straighten this wire out. Okay. So I want to make sure everything's facing the correct direction. All right. I'm going to seal this one quick. All right, so let that dry. Now the fronts of these are dry, so I'm going to do the backs. Okay, so now I'm going to let these sit here for a few minutes. They're going to completely dry. I'm going to go wash my hands and wash my brushes. And then when they are dry, we will set everything together. All right, guys. So now my pieces are dried. And I just want to see how exactly I want to, do I want them to sit which way? And I guess it really doesn't matter what direction they're facing in, but I kind of like it better with them facing outward. So I'm going to go with that. All right. So my next step is, let me get my hooks. And this is really simple. So you just find where you open it or where you closed it. So you just reopen it, place it on, and then you're going to just slowly reclose it. Okay. We're going to face it towards the back. Close that properly. Okay, so here are the earrings. They are completed, and I hope you guys like them. I think they came out absolutely adorable. I look forward to wearing these tomorrow. These are going to be my personal earrings, and I think I'm going to make a few more pair for some friends that I know like flowers and birds, and these are so perfect for the summertime. They also, I think, would work great for the fall. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy creating along with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.